Hi y'all. Welcome back to my channel. I convinced myself during my birthday this past weekend, I was looking at some of my old readings and I convinced myself to get back to it because I heard some messages that I needed to hear. So, hey Siri, turn the volume down 15%. So, hey Siri, pause the music because I don't even want them to flag this. But yeah, so let's just pull some messages, y'all. I'm gonna pray. Wow. Universe, ancestors, spirit guides, please bring the collective and myself whatever messages that you deem necessary at this time. Whatever advice, whatever inspiration, whatever areas that you would like for us to focus on, or any messages that you deem worthy at this time. Okay. We got a lot of reversed energy. Might be a good thing. We got some earth, some fire, some water, and some air. Wow, we got everything. I'm currently I got this candle going. It's white tea and sage. It smells so good, y'all. So my birthday was Saturday, May 9th. I'm a tourist gang, and I text my friends. I'm like, you guys don't have to give me anything, but if you do, can you give me like some nice smelling candles? And you know, I didn't even look at that bag today, but I was about to do the reading. I didn't see what gifts I had yet, and I just knew that it was gonna be a candle in there. Okay. Anywho, please clarify. Let's clarify these cards, universe. Do an 8-card spread today and see how we're going. Today I'm reading from the Tarot Illuminati deck. And yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't know I did that like that. Let me get 2 more cards to clarify this. Princess of Cups in the reverse, and and it's 9 of Swords in reverse. We're gonna do something light. I feel like I gotta get my bearings and like get back into it because it's been a minute, y'all. This is literally, I haven't like been reading for myself either. I've been listening to like watching readers, but I haven't everything is in reverse, so I wonder if I should just flip it around. But also I'm like, maybe I should leave it because I did see a video earlier and this girl was saying how Pluto just went retrograde, and it's gonna be retrograde until October. So it went retrograde like May 6th, and Pluto retrogrades are really about like transformation and clearing out basically the things that don't fit within our lives. So helping us to clear out anything that isn't authentic to the people that we are deep down. So this could be like a time of deep revelations and like a time of truly feeling uncomfortable, which I definitely resonate with. I'm sure you guys do too. Also, you know, stepping into this, I want to like, my goal is to put the collective forward more so than myself. So I will use like some real world examples, but I really do just want to take myself out of the equation a little more. That was just a little self-thought that I had as I was about to go into an example of how I fit into my life. I'm just gonna give the message of maybe you're uncomfortable. One of the reading that I heard a couple months ago, Queen of Cups Tarot, she was saying how you could feel like if you imagine the feeling, which we all did, but it was a really long time ago, when you were like in your mother's belly, which is crazy because it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Make sure that you take care of yourself today, because this is Mother's Day. That's what I was thinking in my head earlier. Like, this is the day for the mothers, not the day for mothering. So take time for yourself. Like, I also now have a daughter. I don't think I had a daughter last time that I was sharing with you guys. Like, I have a almost 2-year-old, and it's crazy how time flies. But yeah, happy Mother's Day. She was talking about how when you are in a womb, think of the feeling of when you were in the womb as a baby, and as you were, that was the most comfortable that you were, and you were growing and you were flourishing, and then you get to a certain point where you're so big and the space is so tight and it makes you so uncomfortable that you know that it is time to shift and to move, and you don't know where you're gonna go, you don't know what it's gonna look like, but you trust in like the unseen. And I think that that's really like what this whole Pluto retrograde feeling might be like. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you are feeling irritated, if you are feeling agitated, if you are feeling easily triggered, like, these are all telltale signs of spaces where it's time for you to adjust in some way, and maybe transformation doesn't have to be like crazy change. I was talking to my sister about that. Like, at one of my patterns that I work through often, which I'm better at now, is like when I am trying to lose weight or something, when I'm trying to make a change and I want to make like a drastic change. So I'm like, I'm going to cut all sugars, all carbs, and I try to do like a crazy diet. And I'd probably make it about a day or two, maybe a week, and I just end up binging, eating everything, eating all night long, like going crazy, being worse than where I started when I made that. So, the transformation that this Pluto retrograde is calling for may not be like huge change, right? It could be small shifts in the things that need to change in your life. It could be taking more walks. It could be starting the day with sunlight instead of screen time. It could be trying something new. It could be trying a new activity. It could be learning guitar. Like, it's about the little changes. It's not always about quitting your job and moving across the country. Like, it might be that, starting that business. It might be that. That might definitely be in the cards. But, yeah, that is the message right now. It's like, sorry, everybody's like calling me right now, and I'm like, what? This is like the difference of being a mom. I can't just go on D&D because I'm like, is everything okay? But that was also a message that I received last night. It was like a Mother's Day message, and just about like God's protection and just knowing that everything is okay regardless, like not thinking of the worst case scenarios, not thinking that everything's going to be horrible if you don't answer the phone. Like, that is something that I taught myself a while ago, but after I had a kid, now I'm like relearning all of these things and these boundaries that I've set. I'm like, I have to put them back in place and really get back to myself. So that also could be a message for somebody out there, and something that this Pluto retrograde is bringing to you. Also, whatever, I think she said something about Aquarius. So whatever house you have Aquarius in, that could be like where the attention of this Pluto retrograde is on. Like, for me, which I'm still digesting and trying to understand, because my Pluto is in Scorpio, which is about, Pluto in Scorpio, that is like its planet. So it's really a double whammy of, it's really focusing on the transformation, on life changes, and that inner soul work and stuff like that, deep healing. But also, I was listening to some reading that was like, when I was born, technically I'm Pluto in Sag, but it was retrograde in Scorpio. So I don't know, that's something I still have to like figure out. But yeah, if you're a 1995 baby, that may be something worth learning more about, is whether your Pluto is in Scorpio or Sagittarius. But I feel like if it's retrograde and shit, I'm a Pluto and Scorpio baby. But who knows? But yeah, if you guys want to know more about that, I didn't think that was what this reading is about, but maybe the cards are going to talk about that more. But yeah, figure out wherever Aquarius is in your chart, and that is probably where Pluto retrograde is, the focus is in. Whatever house Aquarius is in your chart. Okay. So first we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse, clarified by the Princess of Wands in reverse. So Earth, and I think Wands is fire, right? Y'all, it's been a minute. Y'all gotta excuse me. And I feel like even before, like, I'm definitely a beginner tarot reader. So before, like, the 3 years that I've been on YouTube, I started in 2020, but it's been some breaks. It's been a lot of breaks. But when I first started, I always listened to tarot readers, but I never actually started doing tarot readings. I would just do spiritual readings where I spoke about messages that I was receiving from the universe, in that manner. So I picked up my psychic handbook book, which was talking about like the spiritual tools that you can use to help with your divination and like refining your clairvoyance and like helping you to understand the messages that you're receiving from God. And tarot was on there, and I was like, that's crazy, because I was just thinking like, so here we are. But anywho, Six of Pentacles. So I go and I figure out the Pentacles, that is Earth. Earth concerns itself with the bedrock foundations of our everyday life, the mundane world, and our bodies. It asks us to think about our daily survival, money, fortune, family, home, environment, health, and work or career, which also this energy is prevalent because Taurus is an earth sign and we are in the midst of Taurus season. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. So harmony. 6 is harmony, redressing, balance, light, and synthesis. So this is in the reverse. So there could be some misalignment. I don't want to say like a lack of harmony, but I guess when they say redressing balance, just to be on the optimistic side, let's say finding balance, right? And then let's read what it says for the Six of Pentacles. So the success of the philanthropist. I think when I think about philanthropy, it's like helping out the community, right? And it's in reverse, which does make me think of kind of like the whole thing of knowing like that you have to pour into yourself in order to pour into other people. That's a huge thing. Like if you don't pour enough into your own cup, you can't pour into other people's cups. So maybe there's something here about working on that balance more. And maybe for you or for the collective, it could be pouring more into your community. I know that's something that I've been trying to work on, and that I've made a goal for myself in this next life, is to contribute more to the community, which it's crazy I'm doing this tarot reading, because I feel like this truly is like one of my greatest contributions that I can give to society. But also like volunteering. Like I dropped off some food to the pantry down the street from me a couple weeks ago, and it was like baby food that I never used, and literally as soon as I dropped it off, like somebody grabbed it right off the shelves, and I was like, it was just such a nice feeling to be able to give to people. So there might be some kind of balance to that. Like maybe the universe asks you to give more to others, or it could be asking you to give more to yourself. I think life is all about finding that balance of give and take and knowing how to receive. Like last night I was out and about and everybody's giving me these compliments, and like I definitely I'm getting better at receiving, but it's still like a little uncomfortable for me. So there could be some balance of that give and take energy here. Let's see, it's clarified by the Princess of Wands. And the Princess, let's see, Earth. Wow, so that's Earth again. Awakening, nascent power, the fertile womb and container, the season foundations, which is crazy because we were just talking about the womb, right? And being in that womb energy. And then we have Wands, which is fire. Yeah, fire is the element of desire, drive, passion, ambition, creativity, sexuality, and the ego. So very much, what do you call that? Sacral chakra energy? That might be the sacral chakra, the red one. Which is crazy because that's womb energy too. But I might be getting the yellow one. I might be getting the solar plexus and the sacral actually, because I think sacral is like. Yeah, I gotta look this up, y'all. I don't want to steer y'all wrong, but this energy of this card is about, okay, so the fuel of the fire. So what fuels you? Which is also in reverse. So yeah, it may be about finding more of those things in this period of time that fuels you, whether that is pouring into your community or whether that is pouring into yourself. And maybe it's a matter of listening to your body at this point and using that as your compass to know, okay, do I need to give right now or do I need to receive right now? I like that. So really, really listening to your body. Your body is your compass, you guys. So you got to listen to it. All right, the next card, which is the only one that we have that isn't reversed, is the Eight of Wands. So we have Wands again, which is that fire energy and creativity. And 8, what is 8? Let's see. Double strength, boundaries, trapping, stagnation. Wow. And then the 8 of Wands, the heights of ambition. Double strength, boundaries, trapping, stagnation. And then Wands, creativity, the ego, double strength, boundaries, trapping. So, you know, even just looking at the number 8 and what it stands for in this deck, and the fact that it says double strength, boundaries, trapping, stagnation, I feel like even that in itself is an interesting breakdown, because boundaries, I feel like, are very beneficial, right? They help us to kind of put a container around the things that we will accept and the things that we won't accept in our life. But at the same time, there is this energy of stagnation within those boundaries, because when you think about like the boundaries of something, and if say you're a kid at school in recess, and these are the boundaries, so you can only play within these boundaries of the playground, right? So there is a matter of stagnation within the bounds, because you can only go so far. So that does make sense. Walk with me, you guys. Walk with me here. And then creativity. So, and then their actual definition is the heights of ambition. So when I think about creativity and when I think about boundaries, honestly, this feels kind of similar to where I think maybe the universe is trying to get us to open our minds as to like what our boundaries are, where it is that we draw the line when it comes to creativity, when it comes to passion, when it comes to the things that we want in life, the things that we go after. What are you working towards? And like, is it working? Is it really working? I hope this is resonating. I feel like it is resonating, but I don't know. This is clarified by the 6 of Swords, though. So this is our second 6, right? And what do we say the 6 was, you guys? We're all learning tarot together. The 6, harmony, and that balance. So finding that balance again, right? Finding that balance again within that. And then swords is air, right? Yep. Air is the element of our breath and therefore the element of communication, and particularly the spoken word. So the 6 of swords, the escape of the mind, but also it's in reverse. So not like getting too inside of your head, but maybe there is a part of where you have to kind of cultivate and work within the space of your mind in order to push past these boundaries, also in order to create certain boundaries. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty deep. So what I think about that, when I think about this, the opposite of escaping the mind is actually entrapping yourself in the mind. But when we think about the mind, you guys, we have to think about this idea of seeing. What do they say? Seeing isn't believing, believing isn't seeing, or you have to like believe things before you can see them. And they say like that is literally that is the essence of manifestation and manifesting the things that you want in life. You have to literally trick your mind to already feel like you have those things, right? Because when you realize that you don't really want the things, you want the feeling that the things will bring you. So if you begin to just feel the feeling of those things, then the things will come. So it's all really a matter of the mind, and the mind is really the source of life and how everything appears. Kind of like color, you know, like how color isn't a real thing, but really everything is vibrating from the sun. I'm not that great at science, or is that even science or like art? I don't know, but science, yeah. But I do remember that they were saying like everything is really a reflection. So like this floor isn't really brown, but it is the reflection of all the particles in the sun that is making it appear as brown. So it's all in your mind. Essentially, it's your mind that is creating the reality in front of you is the message here. So get attuned with your mind, and whatever that means. Sometimes getting into your mind, sometimes you have to get out of your mind to get into your mind, but maybe it's also a matter of just getting comfortable in your mind, getting comfortable with your thoughts, like cleaning it up a bit. Yeah. Let's just keep going. Princess of the Cups we have in reverse, clarified by the Hangman in reverse, which I love because the last like month or two I kept getting the Hangman energy card. So princess, this is our second princess, isn't it? Yup. So again, princess is earth, and we're in Taurus season, so that makes sense. Cups is water, so this is the first amount of water that we're getting in this reading here. Which I'm not surprised about, especially with this Pluto, Scorpio energy in the air, retrograde. That makes sense. So water is the element of our emotions and feelings, as well as everything that connects us to others. It is concerned with our romantic relationships as well as our social ones. So the Princess of Cups, the muse within the dream. But it's also in reverse. So relationships, princess, hold on, let me find princess again. Awakening the fertile womb and container, the seeds and foundations, and then emotions and our connections with other people. But it's all in reverse. And you know what I never looked at before? Like, actually just sitting here and looking at the cards to get, like, a visual representation of what it feels to help me to clarify the message. I've never done that until, like, just now. I had that epiphany. And I see this fish. Honestly, the fact that this is in reverse, it kind of makes me think, which, you know, might be me personally, but I feel like maybe there's a part of this in this moment in time that is about, I want to say, making yourself the muse as opposed to finding it within other people. But also that could be me. I'm trying to be, like, more balanced in this reading and not read for me, but to read for everybody. I know me personally, I have a problem with placing importance in other people, and I am working to cultivate that importance in myself, in my life, and putting me first and foremost all the time, and walking away from whatever doesn't serve that and whatever I know I deserve more of. But this could also be saying to do the opposite, like to pour into other people, to pay more attention to your emotions, to pay more attention to the connections that are divine and are lighting you up and are pouring into you, and the people who have showed you that they do care and, you know, who continue to show up for you, pouring into those relationships. So again, that balance within these close relationships. And it's the reverse aspect that I'm trying to, like, grasp onto, though, like, because when they say the muse and it's in reverse, that makes me feel like there is something that has been the muse that the universe may be asking you to take off of a pedestal, essentially, or maybe to find your muse in other places, you know, maybe to find that inspiration elsewhere, maybe to reevaluate the things that you place importance to in the people, when it comes to romantic and social relationships, you know, maybe not just romantic, but other relationships as well. And then it's clarified by the Hangman, which is a major arcana in reverse. I think that's the only major arcana we have. Yeah. Crazy. The dark night of the soul. Surrender. Letting go and giving in. Sacrifice. Turning inward. Seeing things from a different angle. Y'all, that is so crazy, because that literally is what I've been saying kind of about, like, this whole reading is finding that balance and seeing things from a new perspective. Wow. That's really good. That's really good, universe. And the fact that it is in reverse, I feel like the collective, we have been doing that, you know? And I feel like that has been making life easier for us as we do that. It is helping us to let go of these muses that aren't working, or to be open to other muses and not just this one, to be open to new doors opening. Like, I love that. I love that so much. Let me just read it again. The dark night of the soul. Surrender. Letting go and giving in. Sacrifice. Turning inward. Seeing things from a different angle. Which is so crazy, because literally the song... So I wrote this song called Cancer Rising because I'm a Cancer Ascendant years ago. And this past week I put out the video for it. And there's this line in there that says, surrendering, it feels like giving up to me. Which is something that I know that I have to work on, and maybe the collective is working on too, is, I guess what I feel like is sometimes surrendering literally feels like giving up. But I feel like surrendering is not necessarily giving up, but maybe surrendering is you, like, giving in giving into the things that you want. Maybe to move forward towards the things that you actually want, you have to surrender. Like, I'm trying to think of like a visual example that I can give you guys of what I mean, of something that you can't like force your way through, but you have to like submerge yourself into it, like trying to fight through water, or trying to crash against waves, as opposed to surrendering to the waves, and how much further you get once you like surrender. Like, so yeah. Wow, good job, collective, because that is in the reverse, so I'm not preaching to us right now. That is a nice gentle reminder, but I feel like the fact that it's in reverse, that's something that we've been doing a great job of, and I feel like the universe is like confirming that to us. Like, good job, I'm proud of you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, ancestors. This is not an easy feat, you guys. These lives that we're living, and these things that we go through, and these things that we're getting through, and these things that we're releasing and surrendering to, like, this is hard work that we're doing, you know? And it's like doing this on top of the 40 hours a week, working at jobs that we probably don't want to work at, and, you know, being mothers and being in these relationships. Like, this emotional and spiritual work that we're doing on ourselves on an everyday basis, and forever, however long you guys have been, I've been living for 31 years. This has been 31 years of this, like, at 31 minutes too. Is crazy. But yeah, I gotta look up the meaning of 31, so I can really get into my bag and figure out what this chapter is about. But thank you, universe. I'm proud of you guys. The universe is proud of you. We got 2 last cards, and I'm gonna wrap this up because I gotta call everybody back now. So we got a 9. Is this our first 9? Yeah. We have the 9 of Swords. I think there's like something about the mind, and it's in reverse. So Swords is that air energy, communication, and then 9 showing up again. Right, we got a lot of swords, a lot of air, which is good, because like, go with the flow, you know. 9, completion, achievement, awareness. Wow, you guys have been doing it. I'm so proud of you. That is beautiful. 9 of Swords, the things that go bump in the night. Like, some of these summaries that they put, I'm like, what? But let's look at this one, y'all, too. The things that go bump in the night. Wow, she's like struggling with these inner thoughts, which is crazy, y'all. This is literally, I feel like this has been me. Like, the last 2 nights, I was just at home by myself, and that's not often that happens, but it's happening more now that my child isn't here. She's with her father, like, on certain days, so I have more time to myself. And this was literally me, like, tossing and turning last night, swearing I was hearing shit, like, paranoid, like, but it came out in reverse. So I feel like this is like a completion to, you know, those dark thoughts and the hard times. I'm not gonna say completion, like, because I just feel like that's a part of life. We're always gonna have dark, we're always gonna have light, but I feel like we are coming to the completion of some type of hard cycle that you might have been going against for the past few years, for the past few months, the past few weeks, for a while. Something that you've been battling against has come to an end, or is coming to an end. Like, something is coming complete, and then that's clarified by the Ace of Wands, our final card, and our first ace, the thrust and lust of life. I love that. And then Wands, obviously, is that creative, sexuality, ambition, desire, drive. That Wands energy is like all throughout. This is all Wands and air, which is fire and air are like the most compatible signs of the zodiac, because they bounce off so good. If you ever saw like a Gemini and a Leo, or like a Aquarius and a Sagittarius, like, that was my dad and my brother, and like, well, JT and was her name before they and Young Miami before they fell out. But air and fire, they bounce off of each other because fire is all about go, go, go. Like, they're the people who like to take that action and get it done quick. Air signs like to go with the flow. They be down for the shenanigans. They be down to have fun and vibe out. And I feel like that is the energy right now of what, you know, what the collective is feeling and experiencing. It's like, I think at a certain point when you get the shit knocked out of you, mind my language, but you get the shit knocked out of you so many times to a certain point where you get to the point where you're like, fuck it, you know, life's gonna do what life's gonna do, and you can try to fight against it as much as you want, or you can find the thrust and the lust of life and have fun with that shit. And I feel like that's what this is about in this reading, is like, let's experiment, let's have fun, let's be open-minded, let's figure out what that is. Like, part of finding that thrust and like the sweet spots in life and really experiencing it to the fullest is being able to be swayed by things and to be inspired by things and to change your mind often and to try new things. And yeah, I think that is really the energy that this is about. We're almost at 40 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap this up, but thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time that I feel called to read for you guys. Hopefully it'll be soon. But yeah, love you, bye.